What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, Something. Hit the keys. Here today to do a quick review and demonstration over Adsr Sound's new drum machine. As the name would apply, it's definitely a drum machine. It does have a few different unique features in it that I do like, and this thing is good not only for in-studio use, but it's also perfect for live performances as well. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But let's go ahead and get right into this review. Some, hit the key. All right, guys, so when you open up the drum machine, it is gonna look like this. Obviously, it looks similar to a drum machine. You have your typical 16 pads here, but what's cool about this is that you get different sound effects. You can do different stuff to tweak your sounds. You get the sequencer, obviously. You also get a mixer, you get buses, and you get synths as well with the mixer. So that's pretty fire as well. And then also over here, there are some other options. So you have split, where you can split the pads. And basically when you split the pads, this is my favorite feature right here of the whole entire drum machine. When you split the pads, it splits up whatever instrument that you're using. So if you're using a kick drum, it's going to split the transient up from the rest of the body. So a transient is that initial hit. It's going to split that from the rest of the body, and you can affect the transient and the body different with different effects and stuff like that. I think that's extra dope. And then, you can also just unsplit them all. Boom, it'll fix that for you. It's got options over here where you can route pads to bus 1. You can route the pads to the main. You can route them to different, direct out, so on and so forth, which is cool. You can export your presets, all that different stuff. It's got a scalable GUI, but I don't know why this is the smallest setting for the GUI. That just kind of made me laugh a little bit. Then when you look down here, you have different controls. So gain, pan, velocity is pretty standard. You have your standard, your transient control, you have a hold, and you have a decay. Underneath that, you have a bunch of different effects, so on and so forth. So, you have your filter cutoff right here. You have EQ, you have your compressor, you have a filter right here. So then right here, you have your drive, which is, your overdrive or your saturation, distortion. And then you have your phaser right here. So typically I make a sample beat for you guys, but I didn't really make a sample beat today. I kind of just put down a little melody, and then I used the drums. I exported the drums out of the Adsr Sounds drum machine. So I'll just play this little sample, little snippet for you guys, and then we'll get right back into the plugin. So it sounds like this. So, pretty basic drum pattern, pretty basic melodies and all that. Of course, it wasn't mixed down. Let's go ahead and hop back into the Adsr Sounds drum machine. So boom, let's pull this back up. So now I skipped right over this part because this is where we're going to go from here. So right here is where you find your sounds. So you'll see here that they have a factory samples, and they have a pretty deep collection of factory samples that comes equipped with the drum machine. So that's nice. Obviously, we know Adsr Sounds is one of the GOATs when it comes to sample packs and all that. So, they got some quality samples in here. When you're looking though, you can go through different styles like hip hop, and then boom, they'll have a few different kits here. They have lo-fi kits. They have analog kits, so on and so forth, beats, all that good stuff, drill, trap kit, all that other stuff. So we're going to come over here to this hip hop kit. And then what I want to do is let's go ahead and let's start with this boom back kit. So as you see here, there'll be a few melodic pieces in here. So not every kit has melodic pieces, but some do, because obviously depending on the genre. So when you're looking here, whatever note that you have this on, if you click on something, boom, it's just going to put it right there for you. Really simple, really easy. It's really basic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a snare real quick because it's going to be easier to show you this with a snare. All right, so boom, we got the snare in there. All right, so now let's go back over to the front page for just a moment. So now if we go back to the front page, in order to do that, we have to shut this page down. So now we're looking at the sound. So this is the sound right here. So now what we can do is we can affect the way that this sounds. So I can come over here and I can affect the transient. So you see this right here, this pink, this is going to control the transient. So you see how I move it up, it's moving the transient. So you can make it hit louder or you can make it hit quieter when it initially hits, which is cool. You can also change the start and stop time of the snare. So you see how it changed the way that it sounds. Right next to that, you have the hold. So with the hold, you know, I can bring this back and I can make the snare as short as I want to. So you hear how it sounds shorter, sounds louder, longer. And then we can also mess with the decay as well. So we can completely, you know, change the way that whatever it is that we're using sounds, whatever, you know, snare, kick, whatever it is that we decide to throw in here. You can mess with all these other effects too. So you have cutoff and all that down here. So let me go ahead and you know, so you get that, you get EQ. So that's pretty dope. You got a compressor over here, so you can mess with this. You know, you can make it super aggressive if you like. You have a filter over here as well. So, you know, you can just basically sweep those frequencies however you like. They have a few different types too. So boom, you have a curve and then you have two shelves. And then you have this drive button right here. So it's going to add distortion. And then you also have a phaser. All right, so now let's go back to what I was telling you was my favorite part of this whole entire plugin. So it's when you come over here and you split all the pads, and then boom, now I have the transient and the body separately. So now when I hit this snare, all right, so you hear how it still sounds normal. Let's say I come over here to the body and I turn distortion on and I turn this up. You hear how it's giving it that initial transient and then it's giving a distortion on there afterwards. I think that's pretty fire. So we can turn the phaser on that as well. So you can just change the way stuff sounds, and you can do the same with the transients instead. So you know how it sounds like this. If I wanted to come over to the transient and just put the overdrive on, just the initial transient hit, you hear how the distortion isn't following the second half, it's just following the initial transient. That's pretty dope. In my personal opinion, I like that a lot because I feel like it lets you do more with your drums than what we typically do, because it's basically like you're drawing an automation, but you don't have to automate it because you have it done in the machine for you as well, you know, pretty quickly. So it's pretty fire. Some more things that I want to mention about the drum machine. So when you're looking here, it tells you like right here, C1, you know, C, you know, flat, D1, D sharp, whatever, E1. It tells you exactly where the keys are. So these are going to be for FL Studio users. This is actually C3, D2 or D3, so on and so forth. Just so that you know that you can also change where the MIDI note goes. So let's click on that for just 1 second. I can scroll this up to wherever I want it to go. So you see how it's just easily scrolling up. I can scroll this to wherever I want it to go. And now C3, which is C5, and most of us know that's going to be your comma. C3 is the comma, so it's just that easy to put, you know, all the pads where you want them. So that's what makes it so easy that you can use it for performances, because even if you don't have a drum pad, you can assign everything to your keyboard how you want it to, and you can easily bang out drum performances. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to reset this down to C1 again. And then I'm going to put some pads in and basically show you guys how you are going to use the sequencer in order to sequence out your drums. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to come back into here, and I want to kind of go into this jazz kit. I think they have some keys in here I can use. All right, so I'm going to use all these. So I'm going to put this on C1. Then I'm going to put this on D1, put this on E, and I'll put this on F. So now I have all those programmed in as my keys. All right, and so now we need to find some drums real quick. So we're gonna go back to this boom bap kit. Let's just find a kick. We'll go with that kick. Ah, snap. So I gotta, one thing to remember, as you see, I just messed up there, but is always to remember to switch your pad over, because you don't want to get somewhere, get lost, and then all of a sudden you don't know where the last pad you had or the last sound that you had was. So rookie mistake. Now that we have some sounds programmed in here, we can program all this in on one sequencer channel. Also, before I forget, there's also a randomize button here, and this will randomize all the sounds in the kit that you're currently in. If you're in a kit that has everything split out, like all your kick drums, it's nice because then it'll randomize through all your kick drums and all that stuff for you as well. So like if you're a producer who's organized and has all of the, like their fire boom bap kicks in one pack, it'll just cipher through all those kicks in that one pack for you and it'll randomize them. So that's pretty nice for you as well. So let's go ahead and come over here to the sequencer. So now in the sequencer, as we're looking at it, you have different steps. So we're going to just go 32 steps for now. There's only 16 steps on a page. So in order to flip to the next page, you're just going to push 2. You can also flick back and forth. This page will give you the velocities, so you can go ahead and change the velocities on each thing. This page brings you back to the main page where you can program your sequence in. They have this loop function. They have this follow function. With this, if you push the follow button, it does something weird where it gives you your regular pattern twice, and then the third and the fourth time around, it cuts out a kick drum, or that's what it was doing earlier, and it just gives it a nice little different bounce. You have swing over here, so you can put swing on it. You can change the speed to however you want. So triplets, dotted, straight, all that good stuff. It's pretty cool. You can nudge things over to the right, to the left. And you can offset things as well. So let's go ahead and hop right into here. And so this is the first note I'm going to play. Now you got to make sure you're paying attention to whatever it says. So D1 is going to be the next key I use. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we use D1. Let me see where it's going to go. All right, so you notice how this note right here is extra long and it's carrying over. What you can do with that is you can go back over to your sound effects and you can click on that key. See how long this is? So we can pull the hold back on it. And now it sounds like, pull the decay back a little bit and pull this back just a little bit more. All right, so now that's perfect. So let's go ahead and hop back over here into the sequencer. So now let's go ahead and get some snares in here. So snares are C sharp. So let's just throw some hi-hats in there. And then so just like that, you can just easily make a boom bap beat. You can throw some swing up on this thing right here. So it's super easy to use. And then you can come over here to the mixer. Once you come to the mixer, every time you assign something to a key, it's going to automatically give you a mixer send or whatever, mixer insert. So you can't assign the send, but what's cool is all you have to do is turn the knob up and it turns the send up for you. If you wanted to send this to a bus, you would basically come down here to this bottom, hit buses, and then whatever bus it is you want to send it to, and you can send everything to the same bus, which makes it super easy, because then once you get everything on the same bus, then you can decide how you want to mix everything, how you want to pan everything, so on and so forth. So for me, this is not a bad drum machine at all. I do have two things that I wish that they would improve with the drum machine. The first one is with the hi-hats. You can't really do hi-hat rolls, and you can't really do like, you know, anything like that because they don't have a note repeater or something like that. And I feel like it's 2022, you know, if you want trap producers to use this, then you have to have a way for them to do some kind of hi-hat rolls. I may have missed that, but I couldn't figure out how to do hi-hat rolls. And then the second thing, this isn't a specific with the Adsr drum machine. It's more of like a drum machine in general, because it's most of the drum machines that I've used, is that when you program something in on the drum machine, even if you mute it over here, it's still going to play. So like right here, I have this Adsr machines right here, 5. That's the one that I use for the track. Now, if you look at the pattern, there's nothing in the pattern, but if I push play, oh, well, it's playing both patterns. But if I mute both the Adsr sounds, you see they're both muted. It still plays. And that's kind of frustrating sometimes when you're making a beat, because it's always playing when you're trying to make a beat. Sometimes you want it to silence so you can hear what the silence parts is going to sound like. But I mean, again, other than that, I think it's a fire tool, especially the fact that you can split the transient from the body. Like, I love that feature. I absolutely love that feature. And then I like the fact that it's easy to use. It's easy to program. It's easy to assign pads wherever you want them. I like that a lot. So make sure if you guys do like this content, though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.